Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're going to try to connect two legendary objects shrouded in mystery.
Okay.
The Holy Grail
Right.
and the Copper Scroll.
Sounds good.
You've given us some great source material on both.
Yeah.
And our mission is to kind of pull out the most insightful nuggets for you
Okay.
and present them here
I love it.
in an interesting way.
It's fascinating how these objects, one, a symbol of divine grace from Christian mythology.
Yeah.
The other, a real tangible artifact listing these hidden treasures from the Jewish tradition, how they might be connected.
Right. It's like they're worlds apart.
Right.
But what if the Copper Scroll,
Yeah.
like this real-life treasure map that it is,
Uh-huh.
holds clues to the whereabouts of the
Okay.
Grail,
Yeah.
or even objects related to it?
Absolutely.
That would kind of redefine how we view both, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it definitely would.
So let's start by unpacking what your sources say about the Holy Grail
Right.
itself.
Right.
It's often portrayed as, that cup used by Jesus at the Last Supper and, imbued with these sort of extraordinary powers. But what stands out in these materials is this emphasis on the Grail as a metaphor.
Right.
Yeah, several sources go beyond the literal interpretation.
Yeah.
One scholar even argues that the Grail isn't a physical object
Right.
at all. It's a representation of esoteric knowledge,
Uh-huh.
hidden not in some geographic location,
Yeah.
but within ourselves.
That's a perspective we don't often hear.
Right.
And it connects intriguingly with the Arthurian legends
Yeah.
that dominate popular understanding of the Grail.
Mhm.
Those stories, as your sources point out, are less about finding a physical cup
Yeah.
and more about the knight's inner transformation through the quest.
So even if we never actually pinpoint the Grail's location, the
Yeah.
quest itself,
Right.
as depicted in these legends,
Yeah.
holds value.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a pretty cool takeaway for you, listener.
Indeed.
Now, in stark contrast to the Grail's,
Yeah.
ethereal nature.
Yeah.
Right.
We have the Copper Scroll.
Right?
This is a tangible object
Yes.
discovered among the Dead Sea Scrolls.
Yes.
But instead of religious text,
Huh?
it's a meticulously inscribed inventory of hidden treasures.
I love that.
It's like having an ancient treasure map
It is,
in our
yeah.
hands.
Yes.
And your sources go into some really fascinating specifics
Yeah.
about what's listed on the scroll.
Yes. One article breaks down the types of treasures mentioned.
Okay.
Not just gold and silver,
Uh-huh.
priestly garments, vessels used in temple rituals, even incense.
Interesting.
Yeah, this suggests a deliberate effort to preserve not just wealth,
Yeah.
but objects of religious significance.
Which begs the question, why hide them in the first place?
Right.
Was it to protect them during times of war? Or was there a deeper, more symbolic reason,
Right.
as some of your sources suggest?
Yeah, that's a debate that rages on amongst scholars.
Yeah.
And your source material reflects those differing views.
Yeah. Some argue it was purely pragmatic,
Uh-huh.
while others connect it to messianic beliefs prevalent at the time.
Fascinating. And this brings us to the crux of our deep dive
Okay.
today. The possibility that these two seemingly disparate objects,
Right.
the Holy Grail,
Yeah.
steeped in Christian symbolism,
Uh-huh.
and the Copper Scroll from the Jewish tradition might be intertwined.
Exactly.
While some sources dismiss this as mere speculation,
Right.
others offer compelling arguments.
Yeah.
One scholar, citing your research on the Copper Scroll's dating and its contents,
Yeah.
suggests that some items listed could have been perceived as having Grail-like qualities
Yeah.
by early Christians
Right.
or Jewish sects
Wow.
with connections to early Christianity.
That's mind-blowing.
Yeah, so we're not just talking about treasures in the material sense.
Right.
We're talking about objects imbued with a spiritual significance.
Yeah.
Objects that could bridge the gap
Uh-huh.
between these two traditions.
Precisely.
And this connection, however tenuous,
Yeah.
opens up a whole new realm of possibilities.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, let's dive into those possibilities. What specific theories from your sources connect the Grail and the Copper Scroll?
All right.
I'm ready for some aha moments.
Okay. One theory that jumps out is the idea that the Copper Scrolls, not just a list of treasures,
Yeah.
but a coded message,
Oh,
potentially guiding those who could decipher it
okay.
towards objects or places associated with the Grail.
Like a secret roadmap for initiates.
Yes.
That certainly adds a layer of intrigue. But
Yeah.
how would that work? What kind
Yeah.
of code are we talking about?
One of your sources delves into this, pointing to the intricate language and structure of the scroll.
Okay.
It's not just a simple inventory.
Mm-hmm.
It uses specific terminology, measurements, and landmarks that some scholars believe hold symbolic meaning.
So it's not just about what's listed, but how it's described, almost like a whittle wrapped in an ancient treasure map.
Exactly.
And that leads to another intriguing theory.
Okay.
That the Copper Scroll was intended to be read in conjunction with other texts, perhaps lost or yet to be discovered, that would provide the key to unlocking its full meaning.
Like a missing piece of a puzzle.
Like a missing piece of a puzzle. And some of those missing pieces might even connect to the Grail legends.
Absolutely.
That's a pretty exciting thought for you, listener. Imagine piecing together these ancient texts and uncovering a hidden connection between two seemingly disparate worlds.
Right.
But let's get practical for a second. Even if we accept the possibility of a connection, one big question remains. Why create such a complex system of hiding and coding?
Right.
Why not just keep these important objects safe and accessible?
Several of your sources grapple with this very question. One historian argues that the act of hiding and encoding itself was imbued with ritualistic significance.
Oh, interesting.
It wasn't just about protection. It was about preserving a sacred tradition, ensuring that these objects would only be found by those deemed worthy.
So it's like an ancient initiation ritual.
Yeah, like a test.
A test of knowledge and spiritual understanding.
Exactly.
And finding the objects was only part of the goal.
Right.
The real prize was the journey itself. The process of deciphering the code and proving oneself worthy.
And this idea of worthiness ties in beautifully with the Grail mythology. With its emphasis on purity and spiritual attainment.
Right.
It's almost as if the Copper Scroll, in its complexity, mirrors the arduous quest for the Grail itself.
Okay, I'm starting to see the parallels here.
Okay.
But I have to ask, if the Copper Scroll was intended for future generations, why haven't we cracked the code yet? I mean, it's been over 70 years since its discovery.
Right. That's where the limitations of our current understanding come in. As one of your sources highlights, the Copper Scroll is written in a specific Hebrew script.
Oh.
Mishnaic Hebrew.
Okay.
Which differs from the biblical Hebrew most scholars are familiar with.
So it's like trying to read Shakespearean English with a modern dictionary.
Right.
No wonder it's been so challenging to decipher.
Exactly. And to complicate things further, parts of the scroll are damaged or missing, making the task even more daunting.
It's like we're missing crucial pieces of the puzzle.
Yes.
But that doesn't mean we should give up hope.
No.
What are some of the avenues being explored to decipher the Copper Scroll more fully?
Right.
Surely with advancements in technology and linguistics, we're making progress.
Absolutely. Several of your sources discuss exciting developments.
Okay.
One team of researchers is using advanced imaging techniques to virtually reconstruct damaged sections of the scroll.
Wow.
While others are developing new software to analyze the linguistic patterns and potential codes embedded within the text.
So it's a combination of cutting-edge technology and old-fashioned scholarly detective work.
It is.
I love it.
Yeah.
And let's not forget the role of archaeological field work.
Right.
While the Copper Scroll itself is in a museum, the locations it describes are real places.
Yes.
Many of which have been or are currently being excavated.
That's right.
So there's a chance that archaeological discoveries could corroborate information from the Copper Scroll or even lead to the discovery of some of these hidden treasures.
Right.
That's a tangible connection to the past.
It is, indeed. And one particularly exciting theory suggests that the Copper Scroll might not be the only document of its kind. It could be part of a larger network of hidden texts and maps.
Really?
Scattered across the region.
Wow.
Each offering clues to a larger puzzle.
Whoa, that's like a real-life Da Vinci Code scenario.
Yeah.
And if that's true, then each new discovery could bring us closer to unlocking the secrets of the Copper Scroll.
Right.
And potentially even its connection to the Grail.
Exactly.
And even if we never find all the answers,
the
Copper Scroll offers a fascinating glimpse into the world of ancient beliefs and practices.
It does.
Just imagine the mindset of those who created this scroll, meticulously hiding these treasures, encoding their locations, and trusting that future generations would be able to decipher their message.
It's incredible.
It's a testament to their faith, their ingenuity, and their desire to preserve something they believed was truly valuable,
Right.
whether it was material wealth, spiritual knowledge, or perhaps even a connection to something greater than themselves.
Beautifully put.
And that brings us back to the central question of our deep dive today.
All right.
Could these two seemingly disparate objects, the Holy Grail and the Copper Scroll, be connected in a meaningful way?
Right. We've explored the individual mysteries surrounding each object, the possible interpretations of their symbolism, and the various theories connecting them. But ultimately, the answer to that question remains elusive.
And perhaps that's part of what makes this topic so compelling. It's a journey without a definitive destination. A quest that invites us to explore the boundaries of history, belief, and imagination.
Absolutely.
So where does that leave us, listener? What are your thoughts on this? Have your sources convinced you that there's a concrete link between these two objects?
That's a question
each
listener has to answer for themselves.
Okay.
Your source materials offer a spectrum of viewpoints. And what's striking is how even the most skeptical scholars acknowledge the power of these objects to capture our imagination.
Whether or not the Copper Scroll leads to the Grail or related artifacts, it forces us to confront these really fundamental questions. What constitutes a treasure? Is it purely material wealth? Or can it be something intangible like knowledge, spiritual insight, or even the act of seeking itself?
Your sources provide some intriguing food for thought on that point. One author draws a parallel between the Copper Scroll and the concept of a gnosis, a hidden wisdom or enlightenment sought by various mystical traditions.
So the Copper Scroll, even if it doesn't lead to the Grail in a literal sense, could be seen as a guide to a different kind of treasure, a deeper understanding of the world and our place in it.
Exactly, and that resonates with how your sources depict the Grail as well. It's often less about a physical object and more about the transformative journey of seeking it.
It seems like both the Grail and the Copper Scroll, regardless of their specific historical context, tap into that universal human desire to uncover what's hidden, to seek something beyond the mundane, and perhaps even to connect with the divine.
Absolutely. And in that sense, they transcend their individual identities as a Christian relic and a Jewish artifact, becoming symbols of a shared human quest for meaning.
That's a powerful takeaway for you, listener.
It is.
These objects, even separated by time and tradition, point to something fundamental within us all.
Absolutely. And that's perhaps the greatest treasure of all. The Copper Scroll, by its very existence, reminds us that the past is not static, but a living tapestry woven with threads of mystery, symbolism, and a profound longing for something more.
It challenges us to look beyond the surface, to question our assumptions, and to embrace the thrill of discovery, whether that discovery is a physical treasure or a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us.
Well said. And who knows? Perhaps as we continue to explore the mysteries of the Copper Scroll, we'll find ourselves drawn closer to the elusive essence of the Grail. Not as a physical object, but as a symbol of the human spirit's eternal quest for meaning and connection.
What a fantastic note to end on. This deep dive has taken us from ancient treasure maps
I know,
to the nature of belief
Yeah.
and the human search for the divine.
It's been quite a journey.
And it highlights the incredible power of your source material
Yes.
to spark these kinds of insightful reflections.
Absolutely.
So, listener, we leave you with this.
Okay.
What treasures do you seek
Yeah.
in your own life?
Right.
And what journeys are you willing to embark on to
Mhm.
find them? Keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep into the mysteries that fascinate you.
I love it.
Until next time, happy adventuring.
Yeah.